Oh, looks like we're recording. Good morning. Good morning, everybody. It's Wednesday morning. This is Mindful Movement with Chris, and we do this every month, Wednesday at 8 a.m. Eastern Time. And today, what we're going to do is we're going to go from our ankles up to our head. We're going to cover all the parts of the body. And what we do with mindful movement is we make sure that you know how to move your body. We want you to know which muscles are contracting, which muscles are shortening. Those are the muscles that take you into the positions you want to go. So throughout this class, I want you to think of the short side of the muscle. The long ones that might be a little tight can't let go unless the short ones are getting a really good contraction. So as we move through this, I hope you get a better feel for what I'm saying, but I hope you also pick up a movement that just feels delicious to your body. And you want to do it every day because you know that's a restriction you have, but you know you're opening it up. So we're going to start at our ankles. So go ahead, get seated, and then let's put our feet flat on the floor in front of us. Scoot back just a little. So we're going to have our feet flat on the floor. The reason we're going to work with our ankles, because you might not know this, but if you have a restriction anywhere in your ankles or your feet, it can cause pain in your knees, your back, your hips, your shoulders, your neck. Any restriction down here can translate all the way up through your body. So we're going to start down at the bottom. So just sit up kind of tall, pull your tummy in, support yourself with all your muscles in your body, and drop your shoulders down and lift your neck up out of those shoulders. And what I want you to do is I want you to pop up on your heels and I want you to turn out your feet and bring them back to center and take them down. Pop up, turn out. All right, as you're popping up and turning out, the motion should come all the way up to the top of these bones right below your knee. So you can put your hand right here and pop out. You feel a little motion going on there? If you don't, it's probably why your knee hurts. So come on up, pop it out. Come on up, pop it out. Bring it one more time up and out. Okay, let's go the other way. So bring your feet a little farther apart. We're going to come up and we're going to bring our toes towards each other and take it back to neutral. Come up in neutral, bring your toes back to each other. You can also feel right at your knee, come up. Do you get a little movement right here below your knee? If you don't, that's a restriction that's causing your knee to be torqued. Rotate in. So I encourage you to do these. So you're going to bring it up, rotate in, and try to keep your knees in place. I just noticed my knees are diving in a little, but keep your knees steady in place. We're moving from the right below the knee down to the ankle. Good job. Bring your foot up, rotate it in. Okay, we're going to do a little more ankle work, but we're going to take it down to our back. Let's just set our yoga block aside for right now. And while we go down to our backs, we're always going to engage our abdominals. Go slow, one vertebrae at a time. Take it slow, and take it down to the mat. All right, we're on our mat. This is a great place to be. All right, so what I want you to do is bring your knee towards your chest, just where you're comfortable. And you're going to place your hand right on the side of your knees. And this is where you can also, when you're rotating your ankle, see if you're getting any movement right in that area, but just a loose hold right there. And I want you to think of bringing the top of your foot towards your shin, okay? The toes on this one are going to go along for the ride. So bring it towards your shin, then rotate out, point down, point in, and up. So you're doing a circle. But I want you to let your toes just go along for the ride. I want this movement to come from the ankle joint. So we're just doing a circle. We're holding our knees still. We want the movement not to come from our hip. We want it to come from right below the knee down to the toes. All right, let's reverse that circle. So you might find a tight area in this circle. I encourage you just to gently work on that and keep doing it. All right, let's take that foot down. We're going to do the other one. Remember, the toes are going along for the ride. You're just gently holding your knee in place so your leg is not moving, your hips not moving with this. We want the movement to come right from that ankle joint. So feel what's going on that foot you just put on the ground. You feel a lot of nice blood flow going through there. We're really warming up these ligaments. Ankles are probably one of the most important joints we have in our body. They dictate our movement or how our movement goes throughout our body. Now you might hear a few cracks and pops. That's okay. It's usually just air flowing through there. Go ahead and reverse your circle. And remember, we're holding the knee in place because we don't want this circle coming from our hip right now. We will later. But right now, we just want to keep it in the ankle. Okay, take your foot down to the floor. Let's just go ahead and pop up on our heels again and put our feet down, and then take your heels and pop them up off the mat. And take your heels down. Push your toes down and lift your heels up off the mat. So now we're engaging the back of our calf. So lift up and down. Now don't go so high you get yourself in a cramp. If you do, work your way out of it. And lift the heels. Put the heels back down. So now I want you to turn your toes in. This is going to change the muscles we're using in the lower leg and the ankle. So your toes are in. Now lift your heels up, pushing your toes down and down. Push your toes down, lift your heels up. You might find a little bit of difference on one side than the other. You lift your heels and down, but with training, you can get this. Keep lifting and lower down. So what we're going to do is we're going to bring our toes back to center. Now I want you to turn your toes out. This is going to accentuate the muscles on the outside of the leg. So go ahead and lift your heels, push your toes down, lift your heels, push your toes down. It does not have to be a big move. I don't want you to go into a cramp. Lift the heels, push the toes down, lift the heels, and push the toes down. All right. So let's work a little higher up on the leg. What I want you to do is grab your yoga block and listen carefully. I want you to take your yoga block and put it right here on the flat part of your back, right below your lower spine. So right kind of between your butt cheeks there. You can put it horizontally or vertically. I like to put it horizontally. And so the top of my rear end, the top of my butt cheeks are sitting on this yoga block. It is not on my low back. My low back is free, all right? Now we're going to work the inside of our legs, our adductors. So what I want you to do is I want you to bring your knees up toward your chest, straighten your legs. So I want you to have your legs straight for this. So if you can't get them up real high and keep them straight, just lower down a tiny bit. Now I want you to engage your abdominals because we're lifting our legs up in the air, but the block will help with this position. At this point, I want you to take your ankles and I want you to point your ankles, point your feet, and I want you to open out your legs wide. Now you'll feel a tightness coming in here on the inside of the leg. We don't want to override that tightness, but what we want to do is we want to flex our feet, push our heels towards the ceiling, and we want to squeeze our legs back together. So we're actively using those adductor muscles. So I want you to point your feet. I want you to take your legs out just to where you feel that first stretch, okay? We're not overriding that stretch. I want you to flex your feet. Squeeze your inner thighs back together like you've got a beach ball in between your legs. Point your feet. Open out wide. Flex your feet. Squeeze your legs. Now I have my hands on the inside of my legs and I'm kind of pushing gently into them. Point your feet. You can do that or you can just have your arms out down to the side. Open your legs out, and you'll find you can open them out a little farther each time because we're actively working these muscles and they know we're okay. Squeeze, squeeze, squeeze it back together. And let's do that one more time. Point, open out. So when you open out, you've got a point of the feet. Now flex your feet, pushing your heels to the ceiling, and squeeze your legs back together. All right. So what we've done is we've worked up to the hip joint. Let's take this yoga block out from under us. We're going to work the glutes a little bit. So we're going to take our yoga block and we're going to place it between our knees. And what this is going to do is it's going to line up our thighs. And you're going to give a little pressure there, not a lot, but we just activated those inner thighs and they're going to help hold our legs in place while we work our glutes. So from here, what I want you to do is I want you to position your shoulders. Be mindful of where your shoulders are. Take your shoulders, push them down away from your ears. Push your shoulders back into the mat because when we start lifting our hips up off the floor, we're going to be using our shoulders as our foundation. So we want them in the proper place. So you're pushing your shoulder blades and your shoulders back into the floor. Just picture those shoulder blades resting nice and flat on the floor. Now from here, I want you to take your glutes and I want you to squeeze them together. Your glutes are back here, your rear end, squeeze it together real tight. Keep that squeeze and I want you to lift those hips up to the ceiling. The harder you squeeze, the higher your lift's going to be. Now we're doing this slow and controlled. So when you lower down, I want you to keep that squeeze. Work it on the back side of this motion. This is a little eccentric control. Keep that squeeze. And then lower it down and relax. So remember where your shoulders are because when we get up to the top, we want them in the right place. We don't want to put stress on our shoulders. Go ahead and squeeze your glutes as tight as you can. Now lift your hips. Think of these hip bones going straight up to the ceiling. Lift them as level as you can. Lift them level. Hold it up here. Squeeze your glutes. Feel where your shoulders are. They're down away from your ears. Your shoulders are pushing back into the floor. They're a really strong foundation for you. Keep that squeeze. Lower down, lower down, lower down. That's nice, nice and steady. Let's do that one more time. We're getting these glutes activated. So squeeze those glutes and lift up, lift up, lift up, lift up, lift up. Hold it up there, hold it up there, hold it up there. Keep squeezing, keep squeezing, keep it steady as you lower it down. You've got a gentle squeeze on that block. You're pushing your shoulders back and down into the floor. We're working that whole body. We're waking it up. We're getting it ready for a wonderful day and just release. All right, so we're all the way up to the glutes. Let's go to the outside of the hips. We've worked the inside of the hips and we've moved the outside of the hips, but let's concentrate on the outside of the hips. So we're going to go for a good old clamshell. You're going to roll over on your side. And what I want you to do is be mindful of how we are when we're on our side here. So I'm going to take myself all the way down to the floor. I'm going to use my arm as a rest for my head. Now, the most important part here is the lineup of the feet and the hips. What I want you to do is I want you to, your knees will come forward, but I want your heels to be lined up right here with the back of your hips. So your feet are stacked up and your heels are lined up with your hips. And I want you to be mindful. Are your knees even? Are they even here? They're in front of you. Push that top one a little forward, okay? Don't let it just hang back. We're not leaning back. So if you push that top knee forward and make it equal with the other one, then we're in a nice plane here with our hips. So you're going to be mindful of that. Now from here, all you do is open your leg up and don't roll back. Okay, so when you come back, the goal is to keep it even with that top leg. So open up the knee. We're working these abductors of the hip and take it down here. Open up. So we're getting a little external rotation of the hip here. We're also working the side of the hip, side of the glute. So remember, when you come down, you're going to close that clamshell perfectly. So come up, come up, come up. You're not rotating your body back, and squeeze it back together. Let's do that one more time. So be very mindful of this movement. We're just not whipping through, doing reps. We're in control of how our body moves. Let's roll over to the other side. We're going to get in that clamshell. So what you can do is you can, before you lay all the way down, check out where your feet are. Are they lined up with the bottom of your hip? Then take it down to the floor. Now, from here, you're going to make sure that this knee is pushed forward so it's even with the bottom knee. Now your hips are in the right place. So just open this leg up. This one's a little tighter for me. You might find one opens up better than the other. Open it up, squeeze the backside and take it down. Remember, when we take it down, we want to make it even with that bottom knee. Open it up, and take it down. And open it up, and take it down. Now, if you find a restriction like I have, this side doesn't open as much, I would want to do a couple more on this side. I'd want to train this side a little bit more, but you always want to be mindful and train both sides of your body. Open this up and take it down. All right. So we're up here to the hips. Let's get into the lower back. Let's open up the spine. So we're going to go to hands and knees. So get into our tabletop position. I always like to remind you that your table needs to be nice and sturdy. You've got your arms and your legs as legs for the table. Your hands are right under your shoulder. Your knees are right under your hips. And when we're in this position, you control the steadiness of your table by pulling your navel into your spine. But what we're going to do is we're going to roll that spine around a little bit so we don't have to really control it in the flat position. We're going to round it first. So what I want you to do is as you drop your chin to your chest, I want you to push your shoulder blades open and apart, and I want you to send your back up to the ceiling. Now, once you're here, I want you to pull that navel into your spine. Pull it tight into your spine. So what you're feeling right now is your shoulder blades are pulled apart, your chin's towards your chest, and your back is pushing up to the ceiling. Now I want you to keep that roundedness there. Keep that round and push from your hands, push your hips back to your heels, but you're staying round. Go ahead and stay round with me. Go where you can go. And then once you're as far as you can go, we can relax that belly, lift your chin and drop your elbows to the floor. So now our back is released, we're looking up, so our neck and our low back are going in the same direction. From here, I want you to push forward, send your chest as close to the floor as you can. We're going to slide it up our hands, coming up into like a mini cobra, and we're coming back to tabletop. Let's do that again. So bring your chin to your chest. Round your spine up to the ceiling. Round it up. Push those shoulder blades open. Think about everything that's happening in this back body. Pull your navel into your spine. Now from here, keep that round back. Send it back. We're opening up all the vertebrae. And we're sending it all the way back. Once you get as far as you can go, release that tummy. Let the elbows come to the floor. Let the chin come up. And the spine goes loose. Now we're in extension, so we're going to slide our chest up in between our hands, and we're coming up to hands and knees. Let's do that one more time. This is so good to open up your back, to get all the fluids in your spine in the right place. Chin comes to your chest. Shoulder blades come apart. Back goes to the ceiling. Belly button goes to the ceiling. Push back to your heels. Push it back. Nice and controlled. Bring the elbows to the floor. Relax. Bring the chin up. Slide the chest towards the floor in between your hands. Send it back up into tabletop. Good job. Good job. Okay, so we're right here. We did the back. We're going to work these QLs, quadratus lumborums, right at the top of our hips. I like to call them the hip hangers because they attach to your lower rib and the top of your hips. So they keep our hips level. And if our hips aren't level, we're going to have all kinds of pain throughout our body. And we're all unique individuals. So we don't know what that pain, where that pain is going to be, but your body will be in pain if your hips aren't level. So from here, let's do a little bird dog. I want you to curl your toes under. I want you to pull your navel into your spine because we want that nice flat back. We do not want movement through here. We want to keep this as flat and still as we can. Pretend like you've got a glass of your favorite beverage right here on your back. You do not want to spill it. So you're pulling it in tight. We're going to take our right arm out, our left leg back, and we're nice and strong here in our bird dog pose. So your hips are dialed down. The hip pointers are facing the floor where you're reaching your arm as far apart from your leg as you can. All right, so what I want you to do here is bring your hand back to the floor. And I want you to tap your toe down to the floor. Now lift your heel up and tap it down and lift it up. Now on this lift, I want you to take your left leg and bring it towards your right leg. Take it across your right leg. Tap it down on the floor on the other side. So what we're doing is we're contracting, we're shortening the QL on the right side so the QL on the left side can lengthen. So what we're going to do is we're going to look back around over our shoulder and find that right foot, and then just rock your body gently back. Get some more movement in that ankle. Give it a rock. You should feel a nice stretch through your left side and strength in your right side as you're bending towards the right. All right, let's bring it back. Okay, so let's do that on the other side. So I want you to get your tabletop nice and strong, steady and sturdy. And I want you to take your left arm away from your body, your right leg, send it back out in the air. We're in our bird dog. Find your strength here. Find your strength. Pull your navel into your spine. Pull it into the spine. Now bring your hand back and tap your foot down and lift. Let's do one more tap down. Now lift. Now what I want you to do with this lift is I want you to take your right leg across behind your left leg and tap it down to the floor. I think mine found the yoga block. Tap it down to the floor. And now I want you to take a peek over that left shoulder and I want you to find that right foot. So what you're doing is you're bending up the left side. You're creating strength in the left side. You're getting a nice side bend here. And as you do, it's going to release the right side. So we cannot get a good release that's going to hold unless we build strength where we bend. All right, come on and bring it back. Bring it back. So let's do a little plank here. We've got to get our abdominals now. We did the back side. We're going to get the front side. Now, you might have a comfortable plank position. I'm not sure. I'll show you a few different ones. You can do it from your knees, and you can do it right here. You can do it from your toes and your arms extended. You can do it from your knees, bringing your elbows down to the floor. And you can do it from your toes with your elbows down to the floor. To me, this is the most advanced. What I'm going to do is I'm going to keep my elbows on the floor. So what I want you to do is take your elbows, go ahead and relax on the floor. Take your elbows or wherever you choose to go. Get in your position. I'm going to go from my starting position. So my elbows are right under my shoulders. I'm going to have my knees bent and I'm gonna pull my navel into my spine and I'm gonna lift up. So my hips are not riding high in the air. I've got a nice strong plank position. Now, once you're here, you're pulling your navel into your spine. We're working our abdominals, but we're also working our back. So I want you to pull your shoulder blades back and down into your back body. Think of them squeezing towards your back pocket. Pull your navel into your spine and stay strong here in this plank. Stay nice and strong. Your navel's into your spine. Keep it here. Keep breathing. But be aware of where your shoulders are. Be aware. And then let's take it down. All right. So what I want to, so we engaged our abs on the front side. Let's go back up into a seated position. We're working ourselves up to our shoulders. So play around with those planks. Find the version that's most challenging to you, but the version you can control with good form. Like I said, I want you to be conscious of where those shoulder blades are. Pull them back and down. We're not just sinking in, all right? So pick your plank and enjoy it. Get back into this seated position. Let's look at the shoulders. I love this move for the shoulders. I do it all the time. What I want you to do is get a golfer's grip. So show me your palms. What you need to do is you need to fold in at the tips of the fingers. I don't want to see a fist. I just want you to see those knuckles folding in at the tips of the fingers. Now your thumbs go out. So you've got a big open space here in your palm. For some reason, this is called the golfer's grip. But what we're going to do is we're extending our arms out long, and we're going to reach our arms as far apart from each other as we can. Our palms are facing down, so our thumbs are facing forward, and that's the direction you're going to circle. We're going to circle here, reaching wide, and we're going to hit all those rotator cuff muscles. Reach, reach, reach. We're going to get them in sync. We're going to coordinate them with this move. So reach out, reach out, reach out. Now you can do this while you're walking. You can get that nice wingspan. Do up 20, 40 of these in one direction and do them back the other way. But let's, for today, I'm going to drop our arms down because we're fitting the whole body in a half an hour. We're almost done. Okay, let's get that golfer's grip again. The knuckles fold in, thumbs go open. This time our palms are going to go up. So which direction are we going to go? The direction our thumbs are facing, so we're circling back. Circle back, circle back, circle back. Reach those arms wide. Feel those muscles that'll hold your arm, the top of your arm, up into your body, your shoulder girdle, and move it, move it, move it. We've already got those shoulder blades moving really nice. All right, okay, drop it down. So we're going to go to the head. And what I want you to do is we're going to get a side, we're going to activate and loosen up the sides of our neck. So how we do this, remember, the whole premise behind this is when you're shortening a muscle, that's the muscle that's in charge of the movement. The power of that contraction will decide how much you can release the side you're moving away from. So I want you to sit up tall. We're going to shorten this side of our neck, and we're going to see if we can loosen this side of the neck in doing so. So take your hand and place it on your temple. Now drop your head drop your ear. I've got my right ear going towards my right shoulder, just straight on. So once you get to where you want to go, we're not going to take our head and pull this and stretch it, because that's just going to be temporary. So what we're going to do is we're going to take our head and we're going to push it into our hand. And we're going to let this shoulder hang down. Just let it hang down. As you push your head into your hand, you can feel that left shoulder relax. Feel that relax. Feel that get longer. And come back up. So let's see where we got on that side. I want you to take your ear towards your shoulder. See if you can get a little farther. I know I can. Place your head at your temple. You let this arm drop, then push your temple into your hand, push your head into your hand, and you'll feel that nice stretch. But what you're doing is you're actively making this muscle work. It's telling this muscle, oh, we can go a little farther. This guy's going to take over. All right, let's do the other side. We don't want to walk around like this all day. Then we'll be done. Okay, take your hand up here. Drop your head over where it can go. This one's a little tighter on me. Let this arm hang down. Push your head into your hand. Push, push, push. Feel the right side open up and come back to center. Let's do that one more time. And you can just drop your head over to see if that made a difference. Then take your hand and then push your head into your hand. We're shortening this muscle on this side. We're making these muscles work. Just like if you were doing a bicep curl, making those biceps work. And then come up. All right. Good job. We went from toe to head. Just remember the mobility in every single joint is important on how your body feels. When you have an ache and pain, that's your check engine light. Okay. We don't know where your restriction is. I do muscle activation techniques. So I find these restrictions in people's bodies and I activate them. So if you need more information about that, get back to me. It's muscleactivation.com. And this is Mindful Movement on Wednesdays at 8 a.m. Eastern Time with Elite Stars Fitness. Thank you.
Hi, Chris.
Bye-bye.